A day in the life of a SWAT operator. Your team lead just held up a fist, which means stop, which means somebody inside that house just moved past the window in a way nobody briefed you to expect. You're 4 feet from a door you're about to put a battering ram through, breathing through your nose because breathing through your mouth is louder. And every single plan this operation was built on just became slightly less certain than it was 10 seconds ago. Behind you, 7 other operators hold the exact same frozen position, weapons up, nobody moving a muscle beyond what's absolutely necessary. This is the moment every single hour of training either pays off or doesn't, and right now, standing in the dark 4 feet from that door, there's no way to know yet which version of this morning you're actually in. We'll get back to this door. First, you need to understand how you ended up standing in front of it, because the actual story of today didn't start here. It started 4 hours ago in a locker room with a phone call nobody on your team was expecting to get before their coffee had even finished brewing. The call. It's 3:14 in the morning when your phone lights up the ceiling of your bedroom, and you're answering it before you're even fully awake, because a call at this hour from this specific number means exactly one thing. High-risk warrant, moved up from a scheduled daytime service to right now because intelligence just came in suggesting your target might not be at that address much longer if you wait for sunrise. You're dressed and out the door in 6 minutes, a routine your body's performed enough times that it doesn't require your brain to be fully online yet to execute correctly. The drive to the staging area takes 18 minutes, and you spend most of it running through the layout of a house you've only ever seen in photographs, memorizing which room is which before you've even had a single sip of coffee. Your team's already assembling when you arrive. 8 operators checking gear in a parking lot lit by nothing but headlights and one flickering street lamp. And there's a specific quiet to this part of the job that never quite goes away no matter how many times you've done it. Nobody's joking around right now. That comes later if today goes the way it's supposed to. You catch a glimpse of yourself in a car window while you're gearing up. Vest, helmet, the specific weight of equipment that's become so familiar it barely registers as heavy anymore. And there's a strange half-second where the reflection looks like someone else entirely. This happens sometimes, this specific disconnect between the person who woke up 20 minutes ago in a warm bed and the person now standing in a cold parking lot preparing to walk into a house where someone is by every available piece of intelligence, both armed and willing to use it.
The briefing, your team lead pulls up a floor plan on a tablet, walking through it fast but clear, room by room, exits marked, a known firearm inside the residence flagged in red text nobody needs explained twice. The target's a man wanted on multiple counts tied to a shooting 3 weeks ago, considered armed and dangerous by every single word of that phrase's actual meaning, not the watered-down version people throw around casually. This is the part of the job that looks nothing like what people picture. It's not adrenaline yet, it's math. Entry points, sight lines, who breaches, who covers, who's responsible for which specific hallway the second that door comes off its hinges. Every single person in this parking lot has a job that's been assigned and rehearsed enough times that nobody needs to think twice about their own role once the actual moment arrives. Your team lead walks through contingencies too, not just the plan itself, but every reasonable way it might go wrong. A locked interior door, an unexpected second exit, the specific possibility that intelligence about who's inside that house might be incomplete or simply wrong. This is the discipline that separates a team that survives chaotic mornings from one that doesn't, the willingness to plan seriously for the version of events nobody actually wants to happen. You notice, standing near the back of the group, that today's your first operation running point on the second entry team, a promotion that happened 3 weeks ago and hasn't actually mattered yet until right now. Your team lead catches your eye for half a second, a small nod that says exactly what it needs to say without a single word attached to it. You've got this. Don't make him regret it. The staging. You roll up 2 streets over from the target address, engines off, lights off. The specific stillness of 8 people trying to breathe as quietly as possible inside vehicles, far enough away that nobody inside that house has any reason yet to suspect anything's wrong. This waiting period is its own particular kind of hard, considerably harder in some ways than the entry itself, because waiting gives your mind room to run through every version of how the next 10 minutes could go. Your radio crackles once, a single confirmation that surveillance has eyes on the target's vehicle still parked in the driveway, still there, still exactly where intelligence said it would be. That's the one piece of information the entire operation was actually waiting on, the confirmation that moving forward right now still makes sense instead of waiting for a better window that might never come. You check your own gear one more time, not because you think you missed something, but because checking it is the only thing your hands have to do right now besides shake slightly from an adrenaline your body's already started producing well ahead of when you'll actually need it. Somewhere behind you, another operator does the exact same thing, checking a strap that was already secure, a small, repeated ritual that has more to do with managing nerves than any genuine equipment concern. The minutes between staging and the actual go signal are, in a strange way, the hardest part of the entire operation, harder even than the entry itself. There's nothing left to plan, nothing left to rehearse, just the waiting. And waiting gives your mind exactly the kind of room it doesn't need right now to imagine every possible way the next few minutes could unfold.
The approach. The convoy moves the final 2 blocks with headlights off, engines at the lowest speed that still counts as moving, and the specific silence inside that vehicle right now is unlike almost anything else in this job. 8 people who've trained together for years, not saying a single word, because there's nothing left that needs saying. Everyone already knows exactly what happens next. You're out of the vehicle and moving before it's even fully stopped, low and fast across a front lawn still wet with early morning dew, boots silent against grass in a way that took years of specific training to actually master. The house looms up faster than it does in the daylight photos, darker, considerably more real than any floor plan on a tablet ever managed to convey. Every window you pass gets a fraction of a second of attention, a habit so deeply trained it happens without conscious thought, checking for movement, for light, for anything that might change the picture your team built hours ago in that parking lot. The stack forms at the door in near total silence, each operator settling into position with the specific, practiced precision of people who've done this drill more times than any of them could actually count. This is the moment your team lead's fist goes up. Stop. Somebody moved past a window inside that house in a way the surveillance team didn't flag. A shape crossing behind a curtain that could be the target, could be someone else entirely, could be nothing at all. Every single person in that stack behind the door freezes at once, waiting for a decision that has to happen fast and still can't afford to happen carelessly.
The decision. Your team lead gets an update through his earpiece. 3 seconds that feel considerably longer standing exactly where you're standing. And then the fist drops and a new hand signal replaces it. Go. The shape in the window was confirmed, a second individual inside the residence. Not on any warrant, but present, which changes exactly nothing about the plan except how carefully everyone needs to move once you're actually inside. This is the part of the job that never fully leaves your body once you've done it enough times. The specific way your entire nervous system narrows down to a tunnel focused entirely on the 3 feet directly in front of you. The ram operator swings once, twice, and the door gives way on the second hit with a crack loud enough that any element of surprise the team still had is now completely and permanently gone. You're moving the instant the door clears, into a hallway darker than anything your eyes were prepared for after staring at a lit front porch for the last several minutes. Weapon up, flashlight cutting a narrow beam through space that could be holding absolutely anything.
The first room. A door to your left, closed, and your team clears it the way you've cleared hundreds of rooms in training and considerably fewer in situations where the stakes were actually real. Empty. A bedroom, bed unmade, nobody home, and you're already moving past it toward the next doorway before the word clear has fully left your teammate's mouth behind you. The hallway opens into a kitchen, and this is where you hear it first. A voice, male, somewhere ahead and to the right,
shouting something that isn't words so much as pure panic compressed into sound. Your pulse spikes in a way training can manage but never fully eliminate, because a shouting voice in a dark house during an active entry is exactly the kind of unknown this entire operation was built to prepare you for, and can never fully guarantee a safe outcome from. Your team lead's voice cuts through the radio, calm in a way that somehow makes the tension worse rather than better, confirming a visual through a doorway you can't see yet from your current position. Second entry team, that's you, moving to flank from the opposite hallway, exactly the assignment you were given 3 hours ago in a parking lot that already feels like it belongs to a different day entirely. The room that almost goes wrong. You come around the corner into a bedroom lit only by a single lamp, and there he is, the target, standing near a closet with something in his hand you can't fully identify in the half-second your brain has to process it. Every single hour of training you've ever done compresses into this exact moment, weapon raised, finger indexed along the trigger guard rather than on it, shouting commands that come out of your mouth automatically, faster than conscious thought could ever produce them. He doesn't move for a full second that feels considerably longer than any single second has ever felt in your entire life. Then his hand opens, and what's inside it hits the floor with a sound too soft to be a weapon. A phone, just a phone, and the specific flood of relief that hits your body in that instant is almost as disorienting as the fear that preceded it. Your training kicks in even through that relief, moving him to the ground, securing his hands, sweeping the rest of the room visually before you allow yourself to fully process what almost happened in the 2 seconds before that phone hit the floor. There's no time to feel any of it properly yet. That comes later, usually much later, in moments you don't get to choose. He's on the ground and cuffed within another 10 seconds, the second individual from the window found moments later in an adjacent bathroom, unarmed, terrified, and entirely unconnected to anything this warrant was actually about, beyond simply being present in the wrong house at the wrong hour of the morning.
The part after the adrenaline. The house goes from the loudest place in the world to almost eerily quiet within about 90 seconds. Radios confirming an all clear, the target secured, no injuries on either side of that door. An outcome that felt considerably less certain standing in that bedroom 30 seconds earlier than it does now looking back at it from the other side. Your hands are shaking slightly as you step back outside into a morning that's finally starting to turn from black to gray, the specific delayed reaction your body always produces once there's nothing left for the adrenaline to actually do. Other operators around you are doing some version of the same thing, quiet, processing, nobody quite ready yet to talk about what just happened in there. Your team lead finds you a few minutes later, still catching your own breath, and doesn't say much beyond confirming you handled your first point assignment exactly the way he needed you to. It's not a big moment on the surface. It matters considerably more than it looks like it does, and you both understand that without either of you needing to say it out loud. You take a slow lap around the outside of the house while the scene gets secured, letting your own pulse catch up with what your training already knew was over, and you find yourself thinking, briefly and involuntarily, about that half second before the phone hit the floor. It's a thought you'll know again tonight, and probably several more nights after that, whether you want to or not. What the rest of the day looks like. By 9 in the morning, you're back at the station, gear stowed, paperwork already stacking up on a desk that's going to take most of the rest of your shift to actually clear. This is the part of the job nobody puts in any recruitment video. The hours of documentation that follow every single operation, each decision from this morning now needing to be written down with a precision that will matter considerably more months from now than it feels like it does right now. You write out the timelines slowly, deliberately, the fists that went up, the shape in the window, the confirmation through the earpiece, the phone hitting the floor instead of anything worse. Every single detail matters here, because this report is the only record anyone reviewing this operation will ever have of exactly how those decisions actually got made, in real time, under conditions nobody sitting at a desk months from now will ever fully be able to recreate.
You think, filling out the report, about the phone that hit the floor instead of a weapon, about how differently this entire morning could have read if that half second had gone even slightly differently. Every operator on this team carries some version of that exact thought after every single operation. The specific awareness of how thin the actual margin was between how today went and how it very easily could have gone instead. Tonight you'll go home, sleep for a few hours, and come back tomorrow for a shift that starts with training rather than an actual call-out, running the exact same room clearing drills you ran 100 times before this morning ever happened. That repetition is the entire reason this morning ended the way it did instead of some other way, and it's the same reason you'll keep running those drills tomorrow and the day after that for a call-out you can't predict and have no way of scheduling in advance. If you want to know what happens on the other side of a morning like this one, the interrogation, the case that gets built from everything your team just risked to secure, that story starts the moment this one ends, in a room considerably quieter than the one you were just standing in.